All right. So, welcome to our week. Which week is it? Week 7, right? Week 7 of our digital illustrations classes. Okay. So this is basically, all right, is a week that we have to go through with our second assignments, kind of brief and works there. Okay. So those are the things that we are going to talk about for the rest of the week there. All right. So if we take a look back again to our to mind what we call that instructions there, okay, on the brief itself there. Okay, let me share with you guys over here. All right, assignment basically 2 is all about character development kind of works. All right. So I will show you guys first the samples over here from Tan Wei Ji. Okay, Tan Wei Ji, one of the students. This is not the one. It's not the one there. Okay, Tan Wei Ji basically one of those students which is I am really satisfied. Okay, basically on his works there. I find out that he has made a very good kind of progression from his developments over here. Okay, he's also one of the part of those graphic design students. Okay, you guys can see my screen over here, right? Check, right? Okay. He's also one of the graphic design students, just like you guys. Okay. Okay. The thing is about this character design that he develops, right? He actually have shown basically his ideas and also the way that he produced all the process are working correctly, that based on what actually have been introduced to him and the rest of the class. Okay, just like you guys before we get to start our process of developing back again these assignments there. Okay, so if you guys take a look back again, what makes basically Tan Wei Ji have succeed basically on his submissions? Because of his explorations and the ideas developed according to what actually have been shown to him there before, okay, to work with him. Okay, even though he's not including also his either basically I didn't download basically his development process, how he developed those ideas there, but I'm going to show you guys today how basically I developed back again the ideas about these assignments there. And of course, the subject matters that we are going to choose are going to be ourselves again. Why basically I'm going to choose ourselves there instead of choosing some other random kind of guy there, okay? Because I want you guys to become more realistic about your kind of process of developing your ideas there first, before you're going to become someone else there. Before you're going to find someone are going to be more better than you guys there. I want you guys to appreciate basically yourself there first. When you want to design, when you want to become designers there, okay, you must be able to understand, to learn about yourself skills and your self developments and your level kind of understanding there, okay. We cannot become someone else. You cannot become whoever that you think that you adore with there, okay, in order for you to execute correctly about your kind of skill of working. You must be able to know the level kind of understanding that you have when you want to start your works. All right, either you have those how to copy and paste kind of level of understanding, or you can actually redevelop from scratch based on your sketches, based on your understanding how to provide and also analyze the research reference, how to achieve and also how to connect it and engage any kind of reference that related to your kind of research that based from what you're going to do back again to the process of working for your design, and then you're going to redevelop back again and to learn continually to learn how to develop your skills there. okay? How to develop your skills is more than that, okay? So those are the things there. Those who say they don't actually they have the same kind of comfort zone, they don't want to basically expand, right, okay? It's all up to you guys there, okay? I don't have basically some reason to force, but if basically you guys have been developed, okay, the worst scenarios that I always force the students to improve before the deadline or after basically the deadline, and before basically I'm going to compile all those marks, because I know basically they can do it well, they actually can improve more, but they just felt that it's not important for them to work again, because I don't know basically what they have in mind there, okay? Even though I can actually assume, but I don't know basically what it is, okay? Whether they don't care, they don't understand, or they might not have the certain kind of situations that realities are going to bite them directly, because they know basically whatever that they do, basically maybe they always food on the tables, there's someone else basically going to take care of you them directly. They don't have any responsible to basically, okay, to take care of some of those families yet, they're right, okay? They're still living in the clouds directly, I think. So that's why basically people don't care sometimes, okay, about what happens basically, whatever they're going to experience there. Even though there's a lot of people outside there, one, they have the position of what they have basically, have the privilege to learn, to develop, and also to develop also their lifestyles, okay? Yes, lifestyle and so their life kind of level of what we call that, things that they want to do in life there. All right, so some people basically still doesn't realize them, so I cannot actually okay, force them to work on that. So, but I will try the best that I can to show the process of working according to the purpose of our lessons. That's all. All right, those are the things there. So I think you guys will mature enough to think carefully why actually the reason why you're here, and what are the purpose you basically chose yourself, okay, to end up basically your kind of what we call that graduations in the right way, okay, after some of you guys, okay, some of your parents have been invest a lot, okay, maybe 30,000, 40,000, 25,000 kind of what we call that cost, including some of those other kind of expenses, is not basically based from your own money there, right? But when it comes to the realities later on, right, you will learn basically from life directly from there. Hopefully, right. I really pray for you guys all the best directly to work on it. Okay, after you graduate there, right. So for some of us, this is basically is a bread and butter, right? Okay? This is a nasi lemak and also a teh tarik for them, okay. So they need to make a living from here, all right. Otherwise, okay, the bills have to pay there, right, okay? The expenses have to be increased. The responsible also has to be increased there, right, okay? So they have to live with the skill that they have there, right, okay? That's why they want to learn something from here. They want to gain something from here, all right? So those are the things it is. All right, so I think the room which is already opened, okay, most of people were not here, so I can close basically their rooms basically back again. I don't think that they're going to be joined over here, so they will basically refer back again to my recording session, which is I'm going to upload later on there, right, okay. Last week basically I didn't upload any kind of videos because I think it's not basically important for me to upload all those kind of discussions there, okay, for those channels there, and it's not quite very important also for you guys to refer back again, because there's nothing much basically that actually have been demonstrated. I just demonstrate and consult some of the students there, right, okay. So this is basically some of those sample which is you guys can actually follow back again when it comes to submit your works there. Okay, if you take a look back again from basically those brief, okay, let me check back again those brief over here. All right, the weight mark for this Assignments are going to be 20%, 30%, okay? The previous assignments is 20%, okay? Including also basically a 10% from your exercise, okay? All those kind of marks are going to be around 50%, okay? 50%, 60% basically, okay? Based on the whole kind of submissions there. So 60% is quite high, kind of what we call that marks, guys. But if you look back again, go through back again, okay, to your submissions. All right, please analyze back again whether you can get that kind of 60% of the marks, okay, from the whole presentations there. All right, especially those who don't follow exactly what actually have been shown, and you thought basically you will make it right, but you are not there basically because you're not following those methods that have been shown you guys for the last 2 weeks. Okay, for the last 2 weeks there, or 3 weeks time, 4 weeks time there, right? Okay. So the methods that I show you guys were basically one of the methods that I designed, which is I designed basically back again to help the student who really cannot draw or who have the less kind of understanding of working with their skills, especially on the digital controls. They will improve more further from here. They can be improved further from here. All right? That's basically my kind of concern. Okay? My kind of concern, my kind of what we call that kind of way to approach basically the whole process of working for our lessons. Okay, I know basically some of those, some people basically they doesn't want basically to work with this kind of methods there. Okay, because they thought basically, okay, not the students, but most of those illustrators there basically there, okay, they thought basically they cannot actually show off their skills there. Okay, they cannot actually test basically their skills there, okay, to give people kind of what we call that some sort of like some respectful of those kind of works, because they need to apply, they need to draw on top of the layers there, for example there, okay. But from what I actually have been experienced for the past, I think 20-25 years there, right? I think 20-25 years there, okay. And before basically you guys were born. All right. Because I've learned basically from the hard way there, okay. But you guys basically we have been given basically some of those methods that I actually have compiled for the past 20-25 years there, okay, for these lessons there, including basically what we are going to experience right now, okay, for our brief, for our assignment 2 there, okay. I'm compiling all those kind of methods that have been demonstrated back again to you guys, okay, that have been experienced for the past 20-25 years there, right. So that means there, right, I know basically most of the obstacles that they have been faced from a lot of visualizers, illustrators, or designers there, okay, when they need to have to understand about how to learn to develop the skills, but they don't have that kind of entire kind of ideas there how to improvise them, that based from the hard work that some people have done there, right. They doesn't know those kind of, they cannot actually jive and also what we call that get through with all those kind of lessons, because most people, every individual that I find, they have a different kind of way of perceive, absorb basically all those knowledge based on those level of way of thinking, focusing, and also the ideal that they want to develop those kind of hard works to develop the skills in the right way. Okay? They have that kind of certain kind of, each individual have a different kind of way to approach them. Not to approach their works there, but to engage with the ideas how to develop the skills there. Okay? And then we need also a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice on time to work on those skills there. It's not thinking about we doing some apps, even though nowadays there's a lot of technologies of apps that basically can make our designers' works become a bit more easy there, right? But it still need to develop those design sets there, guys, okay? So the carry marks of these assignments are going to be 30% over 100 there, right, okay? And of course, okay, we try to develop the character design, a simple study of the character design, but it's not basically entirely of the process there, right? I just want to give you guys some introductions how basically we can start to develop our ideas there. Okay, before we finalize that, how actually I can construct the ideas, and also how actually I can actually develop and structuring the shapes there before we go to add some of the details there. Okay, those are the things, the process of working there. Okay, back again. Okay, before you finalize them, because all this kind of knowledge you can bring back over, all right, again later on, if you really want to develop back again, or are you going to use any kind of applications that can make your life easy, but you guys can actually tweak and improvise and adjust basically, okay, those kind of applications, kind of results there, based on your own design experience, understanding, knowledge and senses. Okay, so I really apologize if there is some sort of like some type errors. Okay, so as long as you guys can understand, it's very simple kind of brief, and if you have any questions later on, you guys can actually write, you can actually ask me there, okay, and refer to me back again. So about this, what we call the subject matters that we're going to do for the past 2 or 3 weeks there, right? Okay? We're going to start today by today. Okay, you guys need to produce at least 5 character design that based from the same subject matters, which is we're going to use ourselves as subject matters. I already what we call that preparing basically my research, okay, for you guys to see basically how actually I compile myself photos reference, okay, before I'm going to redraw back again and redesign back again into those cartoon or character design, okay. More specifically, character design, they become cartoon, they become manga, they become any kind of styles or genre that you want later on there, okay. You can design yourself, become a robot, monster, creatures, whatever that you want there, okay. But before you're going to design into that particular kind of combination between all those kind of elements together there, okay, you need to have the basics, your actual kind of reference surface. You have to understand first about yourself there. That's all. I know basically a lot of people love to take selfies, most people's there, right? So we are going to use the same kind of behaviors of what we call that methods there, okay, or routine, but we are going to do formally to our works there, okay, for our works there, okay, they are going to be related there, okay. So normally when you put some selfies on your works, you never basically realize that you're going to design back again or redraw back again yourself. They become a cartoon version of you there. So caricatures and character design kind of process, a bit kind of difference there, and they'll be have a more detailings, okay, kind of what we call that process, okay, rather than we just actually draw only one single positions, okay, for our works there, okay, for our design there, okay. So you can create basically your icon, cartoon characters, metaphor, or whatever version that you want that based from your subject matters there, which is yourself. No one can draw anyone else there. I don't want you guys to draw someone else there, okay, because they are not important for me there, okay, for the purpose basically for our lessons over here. And one more thing, okay, one of the reasons I don't want you guys to draw someone else rather than you draw yourself, because in realities, when people don't pay you, someone don't pay you to draw their face, don't draw. Simple as that. Unless basically, right, they are going to be, you are going to give some sort of like a birthday gift, a thankful kind of gift for them, yes, you can draw it. You can draw that kind of person there, okay? But when people don't request, okay, they didn't request for them, for you to draw them there, okay? Especially, okay, the portrait or whatever that you call there, okay? You don't have to, you have to serve for them there, okay? So only for the appreciations kind of purpose that you can draw someone else there, okay? Appreciations there, but not for our lessons over here. Because before you're going to draw someone else, make sure you can draw yourself first correctly. Alright? Because from our previous kind of assignments that I saw from those caricatures there, right? I saw basically a lot of students still cannot actually draw correctly there based on their own face. Okay, especially when they try hard enough to draw by not using the method that I've been shown there, right? Okay, to you guys there. Right? They try to be smart, but they make it worse basically for them. Okay, to execute correctly, and they basically jeopardize back again their own marks from there. If they follow exactly what actually been shown there, you guys there, right? You might going to get around 15 to 16%, okay, of those marks, okay, even though your coloring methods are not doing well, but your line works, the way that you portray your face correctly, you might going to get 15 to 60. It's very highest mark from there, guys, because when you actually follow exactly what we actually have been we've been given to you guys there, of course you answer the questions correctly. Simple as that. When you answer the questions correctly, all right, 15 to 60% is in your marks from there. It can be given easily there, right? Okay, because those total percent are going to be around 20%, right? Okay? Total marks are going to be 30%, right? So when you follow correctly, the line works quite well. When you draw correctly your own face, people can recognize your face lah. Simple as that. Even though you draw into a cartoon version, but people can still recognize your face. You can get easily there, guys, 15% to 60% of the total marks there, right? The rest of it depend on your shadings and shades and coloring methods, that's all. Because I really want to emphasize on the strokes, drawing skills, and the way you control the pressures, and of course the way you basically draw back again, not trace, but draw back again correctly your face using the right kind of brush and strokes there, and by applying on top of the layers there when you draw them back. Okay, that's basically one of the criteria. I already inform you guys, okay, in each of those classes there, even though from the beginning of the process of week 2 and week 3 there, right, I already basically explained all these kind of things there. But if you're not basically following, I cannot do anything from there. Okay, you might going to be submit at those not over the deadline there. Okay, you follow the deadlines, it's good there, but the quality of drawings, the quality of your submissions are going to be a part of it there, right? Okay, a part of it there, okay, for me to assess and to evaluate your works there, because I will tell you guys verbally demonstrates the methods that it works. Okay, that's the thing. So please make sure you low down a little bit back again, all right, in whatever that you have in your mind to follow exactly what we have told you, okay? Because if you're good at it, you might get to have my place right now. Simple as that, okay? If you basically good with what you do right now, you are going to have my place right here. You are going to earn what I have. You're going to have that kind of what we call that trust from people basically that can be share your knowledge and your experience at the same time, right? Okay, so there's a reason why you're still in the position as a student, all right, and you need to serve basically me. Actually is your client there, right? Okay, your clients, okay, your clients is me, but Thai UC basically is your clients, okay? Not my clients there. Okay, I'm not basically, you are not my clients there, but Thai UC basically my clients, but Thai UC also is your client, not mine there. Okay, so there's a difference there, guys. You have to remember, okay, when it comes to the assignments works, I'm going to be the one who actually going to have the last kind of what we call that decisions there, make decision about your submissions there, right? Okay, whether they're going to be right or wrong, or you can improve from here. You have to remember there's the realities there. That's basically the realities here, guys. Okay, you pay Thai UC pay for me, all right? That means basically Thai UC is my clients there. Okay, and I'm not yours there, but I'm basically your clients there when it comes to the assignments there. That's why I have the say basically to give you guys some advice and also consultations, and also you need to improve. If you need to improve, you have to improve there. Otherwise, I'm going to pay the marks that based on your commitments, on your kind of commitments only there, okay? Less commitments, I'm going to pay less there, okay, from those marks. That's all there, okay? Simple kind of calculations there, okay? You do it exactly what client says, right? You will earn what you actually have been experienced and also exposed and you serve there, right, okay? Simple as that. If you don't understand, you ask me there, right? That's all, okay? And show basically your kind of interest. All right? You guys understood? Okay, check back again. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, please check back again the brief. Okay, the criteria, the assessment criteria, guys. Okay, this is going to be a part of it there. Okay, create 5 characters there. Each characters 3 different positions, front, side, and 3/4 view only there, right? Normally, when we design the characters for animation, for comics, okay, for any kind of what we call that fashions kind of thing purpose, right? Okay, we need more than 3 different positions there. I just want you guys to draw only 3 different positions there, okay? And I want you guys to mix up, okay, the techniques using brushes in Photoshop, or you can use Adobe Illustrators there. But I'm not recommending you guys to use Adobe Illustrators entirely, because they can have a little bit kind of difficulty for you guys to develop the tools there, right? And of course, okay, you need to write a little bit some sort of synopsis, okay, on your characters there. A very simple kind of synopsis, okay, I already give you guys some of those ideas from here. Okay, you can actually tell basically the backstory of your characters, who actually the person is, right, okay? And what we call that, who actually are going to be, what kind of behaviors that she has, right? And how basically you're going to present basically the character's appearance there, okay? Visually, okay, using any different kind of styles there, and the responsibility, where they live, basically what they carry in their life, basically is a part of those, the ideas of the person itself, the persona of the person itself there, okay? So you guys can actually use all these kind of ideas, so you guys can find a different kind of way basically to portray, to explain about your characters. Just to explain simply, briefly, okay, on the very simple kind of synopsis about your kind of characters there. All right, just want to explain a little bit, and I just want to make sure that you really understand why basically you choose that kind of visual to be a part of your presentations there, okay, when you design yourself as a character there, right? Okay, so the other criteria basically is a research there, okay? How actually you're going to apply those research. Okay? I'm going to show you guys basically back again how it works, okay? So I already prepared basically one of my research based on myself there to work on that. Alright, the size of format are going to be A4 size for each developments there, okay? For each developments there. Landscape format, 8 by 11 inch, okay? For the centimeters there, okay, are going to be around 29.2 basically, okay? If I'm not mistaken, for the centimeters kind of format there, okay, size. But I'm going to use a very simple kind of analogies of those maths there, okay, 8 by 11 inch there for A4 size. But we're going to increase our resolutions, okay, into 200 dpi, not 300s, but 200 dpi there, only per resolutions there. For our caricatures kind of lessons, submissions is 150 dpi there, right? But for this time, okay, for these second assignments, I'm going to increase around 200 dpi only there, okay, not more than that. Okay, not more than that there, right? Okay. Okay, the reasons, I already give you guys the reasons, because I want you guys to have a very smooth kind of fashions to develop your skills using these resolutions there. If you use 300 dpi, some computers, some laptops cannot actually, what we call that, go through with this kind of high resolutions now. Okay, so that's why I have to reduce a little bit there from there. So present in PDF format slide as usual, all right, including your research, visual research, sketches, and developments according to the design process before you finalize your design. Okay, So how many slides depend on you there, okay? You give one slide, you deserve what you have. You give more than maybe 5 different kind of slides that based on your developments, you deserve also your efforts from there. Okay, based on your commitments. That is all based on your commitment and your hard works, how you progress and you show your kind of stuff, you present yourself there. All right. So presentation in week 9 must be include a video, pre-recording videos there. Okay, I want you guys to record your videos around 3 minutes just to explain a little bit on brief. Okay, based from your week 1 until week 9 kind of exercise and also your assignments there. All right. So I want you guys to exploring basically, and I want you guys to make some of the very short videos about your experience, what you gain, and what you expect that you actually can go through with the kind of videos there. Okay, just like my kind of video presentation that I actually made for you guys right here, but a little bit more short time just to explain a little bit. Because we won't be able to have an online, what we call that, a presentations, what we call that face-to-face. So I want you guys to have this kind of video, kind of pre-recording sessions when you submit your works on 13th, there, right? Or 19th of March 2022, there, right? Okay? Okay? You guys understand? About our submissions over here? Do you understand or not, there, right? Just let me know on this chat box over here, yes or no. All right, we have around 97 and 90. How many there, right? Around 95 students there. All right, I assume basically all of you guys are going to be engaged right now. Okay, we have around 95 students there, okay? I need each one of you guys respond basically, okay, on our brief right here, okay? Do you guys understand about those kind of brief over here, there, right? Pre-recording sessions, 3 minutes, okay, not more than that, right? Okay, please, there, okay, just give a bit brief there, okay, on your submissions there, on your kind of experience from here. That's all right? So I just want you guys to go through back again whatever that you guys have been go through with it. And that, what we call that video presentations, are going to be included on the 30% of your marks from that. Okay? Without those kind of videos presentations, I'm going to cut around 5%, okay, from your marks, okay? 5% of your marks. And not including basically another, what we call that, another around 95%, is it right? 95% basically, okay, from those 30 marks that based from your submissions there. So remember that, guys, okay? Most people, alright, they try to test basically those submissions. They just include only 2-3 pages of those PDF submissions there, right? No videos. And they expect basically they can actually pass and shine there, right? Okay? But normally I'm going to fail the students if you don't put your kind of submissions correctly there, okay? That based on what we actually have been showing you guys there. All right, so if you don't have any questions, okay, I think some of you guys were not here, okay, so let's get back to our business then. Yes, Isra?
Yeah, it said here that the like the universe that characters are in, they'll also be like the same kind of setting, right?
You actually can explore in different kind of setting if you want to, okay, based on your design there, right? As long as you're going to use the core kind of what we call that reference and subject matters that you design later on is based on yourself there, okay? The person that you have right now as a person there, okay? And then you actually can improvise them there, right? Okay? Okay, those are the things there. Okay, the idea is that you're going to design any kind of universe, any kind of styles, any kind of features that you want to add on your characters. It's all up to you guys there. Okay, but I just want to see the process of how actually you construct your ideas there in the beginning. Okay, when you choose your reference and then you find another kind of samples that before you're going to develop on your own sketch there, okay? How you develop them, okay? Those are the things that I want to see from there. Okay, that's very important there. The process of developing is more important than the final kind of presentations, final kind of product that you have right now. That's the thing that I want to see, because I saw basically a lot of new generations nowadays. They try to copy here and there from those ideas, okay, but they don't actually understand how to execute correctly back again, because they don't understand the structures, the shapes of their own design there. When you design someone or some characters based on one single positions, you guys can actually be proud of it, right? Okay? You guys can actually brag about it. Okay? A lot of people can brag about it, right? Okay? But when it comes to design in multiple positions there are going to be a lot of hard time there, because if you don't understand correctly how it works, you're going to find a lot of hard time to develop those ideas there. That's basically that I saw from a lot of new generation nowadays, that how they actually develop them, right? So I'm going to get back into our lessons over here, guys. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ezra, for your questions. All right. So if you take a look back again, right? Okay, I'm actually right. I'm hardly basically I'm going to use OTD basically for a commercial purpose there, okay? But normally I'm going to use for my reference, my samples there, okay? For my studies there, okay? So even though I can actually give you guys every freedom, right, okay, that you want basically to design yourself, okay? By not using all this kind of stuff there, okay? But I want to show you guys back, okay, how it works. How basically I managed to develop my ideas from the subject matters that we have here right now. Okay, first of all, okay, let me actually check back again. If some of the photos not quite clear enough, right, you have to adjust the levels using Photoshop, or if you use any kind of application that you have. I believe they have the same kind of features over here. All right. Okay, don't forget to save your files. And then I'm going to try to, I will flat those layers there, merge the layers there first. Alright, this is basically my reference, this is basically my titles there. Alright, so how actually I can develop all these ideas all over again, guys. Okay, first of all, if I just want to sketch everything without reference, I know basically some of you guys might have a blur kind of what we call that, a parallel kind of what we call that ideas there, whether you want to use your own styles, your own kind of way of working or thinking or not, right? But for me, if I have more kind of reference about a subject matters there, I don't want to refer this is me lah. This is basically a subject matters there, okay? So I'm going to assume basically I'm going to design someone else there, okay? Even though basically it's me, but I don't want to have that kind of perceptions there. All right. That people say, okay, why people always obsessed to draw themselves there. This is not some obsessions there, guys, okay? My obsession basically is for someone else there, right? That you don't have to know there, okay? But now I will basically use myself as the reason why, because we have to understand first the features about the person that we need to draw there first. before we're going to apply back again to our any particular kind of works, okay? Because you need to understand about the clients there. That's the things there, guys, okay? About the clients, you need to understand about the client needs there. This is basically some of those exercises that we develop back again there, okay? So if I want to design something from here, okay, guys, we can use any kind of brushes that we want, but one of the best brushes that I find from these versions of Photoshop is called Ultimate ink and pen and also pencil brushes, but not general brushes there, guys, please. I really think off the okay, when basically people still use these general brushes that to do those kind of drawing there, right? Okay, because I didn't actually explain and also focus on these general brushes when I want to draw there, okay? But still there's a lot of people basically, I don't know basically what they actually hear there, okay, whether they actually watch carefully or not, okay, they're still using this kind of brushes, general brushes to draw. Alright, if you actually live in my generation, for example, use Photoshop, the first 2-3 versions, okay, the old versions, yeah lah, we only have used these brushes there to draw. Nowadays, when you install the latest version, right, you have a lot of previous brushes, okay. Back in the day, I have to download all these brushes there, and I have one of my friend basically download these brushes for me. Then I'm going to install basically back into our preset there, right, for this there. Now everything have been built in there, guys. Okay. So you don't have to basically try to search some of the complicated kind of brushes to start with our design process there. All right, see. I don't know why basically people want to use these brushes there to draw there, okay? Some people use these brushes there to draw there, okay? Alright? Even though we can use there, okay? I'm not saying we cannot, okay? But the way that you actually sketch and draw is not correct. It's not correct there, guys. Now, to start with the sketches there, guys, okay? The best way for us to execute, okay? I think I want to make it to grayscale because it's quite distraction for me, okay? This, okay, grayscale all these reference over here, all right? Better there, right? And then, okay, if I want to design, okay, this fellow there, okay, as a subject matter, one of the things that I have to go through with it, when we want to design something, okay, we have to look into the shapes there. Back again, we have to go into the shapes, okay? What type of shape of these faces there, right, okay? What type of shape is it, guys? If you look into the subject matters over here, the shapes is it? Okay, when it comes to design the characters or whatever that we have in mind, okay? We start with the circles, all right? We have square, basic shapes there, right? We have triangles, okay? Triangles there. Okay, how actually I draw this kind of line over here there, right? Press and release there, okay? Press, release there, okay? Press and release there. But don't draw like this one there, right? Huh? Some people draw like this there, right? When you draw like this, yes, you can. But you have to add also another shapes to make it into characters lah. See? I'm combining triangles and ovals, I think, or maybe a bit kind of triangles, rectangles, and I exaggerate a little bit, and of course circles, okay? But this shape basically came from where? From oval shape, okay? You have to understand the shape that you're going to use there. Ovals and triangle. Can you see there, okay, the difference there? Break down the shapes, okay, when you design them back. I'm using basically this combination between oval, triangles, rectangles, and circles there to design one simple characters like this. Can you see here right now? When you design the characters, it doesn't have to be designed a very complicated kind of design there, guys. Don't talk about monsters, creatures, robot there first. Talk about the shapes here. We're talking about the shapes. Shape is one of the element of design there, right? Before we're going to create the form of these characters there. When we design the whole things right here, they become a form there, right? From the element of design over here. Okay, now go back to this guy there, right? Okay, break down into shapes there, guys. Can you see the shapes over here? What type of shape is this there, right, Isra? That you saw from this fella kind of face that you can actually break down. Yeah? What type of shape that you saw from here? Isra? The shape of the faces there. I'm going to use these brushes there, right? You always study character design? Huh?
Yeah.
What is it? What type of shape that you actually define from this fellow there, right? One single shape there first. From this.
Rectangle.
Okay, rectangles there, right? Okay, rectangles there. See? The shapes of it. Simple kind of shapes there. Rectangles. Okay, study the shapes there first, okay? Rectangles there, this face there. Okay? From here, basically, when you break down later on, I'm going to show you guys. Okay, rectangle kind of shapes. These fellas there, okay? But from here, you actually can break down into multiple kind of shapes there in order to develop those kind of design, okay? So you start with rectangle there. You have to understand, some people can, the characters, okay, those kind of designs start with circles a bit. Ovals, okay, normally when it comes to oval kind of shapes, it's not basically ovals there, okay? They're combining between two different shapes over here. They become an oval there, two different shapes there. Okay, there are two similar shapes, okay, circles but different kind of size there, okay, sorry there, okay, different kind of size there, to make some ovals there. Okay, so right now you can break down back again, okay, multiple kind of shape like circles over here. Is it the circles over here? I don't think so. Okay, you actually can break down into another shapes over here, just to break down, okay, study them back there, okay, what type of shape is it, okay, and then put into the middle what we call that center kind of line and points there, right, okay, and then start to define back again, okay, the hairline, okay, kind of shapes there. Part of this, okay, is a bit kind of like small kind of define of triangles there. This basically came from this particular kind of shapes there. Break down into multiple kind of shapes there, guys, okay. This came from those cylinders there, okay, cylinders there. The neck basically came from different kind of cylinders there, right, okay. So if you want to make it to more dimensional kind of looks, right, okay. So the nose itself came from triangle kind of shapes there. Two different triangles there, guys, okay. The eyes there, okay, same goes, okay. A lot of people always have this kind of problems to define there, okay. The lips itself, okay. Between the eyes and the nose, they're going to be the ears there, kind of alignments, arrangements, and also position of those alignments there. Can you see that, right? So all this kind of stuff there, okay. I don't think that you guys have been aware basically when you design those characters there before you're going to apply them back. Can you see that, right, okay? The rough structures of my faces, of these fellow kind of faces that we can get from this design there. Okay, those are the things that, guys, okay, understand that face. And of course, from here, okay, when you want to study back again this fellow in these different positions, square there, right, rectangles there. You can break down also into the shapes there if you want to, there, right? This little bit kind of triangles a bit, and there's going to be those cylinders over here, or square or triangles, okay, or okay, whatever basically shape that you can find from this part there, okay. The center point of it, the nose, the lips. All right, I'm not trying to define them quite accurate there at the moment. Okay, we can define also like triangles over here. The eyes itself there, right, from this side there, right, okay, this side there, right, okay. The shapes of those eyeballs basically came from this side, okay, eyeballs there, see, inside there, okay, the shapes of it, the circle kind of shapes there, okay, that define those eyeballs there. Ears break down into different characteristics from those side profiles there. The hair itself, okay, basically this is the shapes of the hair. If you're not basic, yeah. Okay, basically, if you're not basically familiar with all this kind of particular kind of understanding, just
Fish.
what is it? Isra, you want to share something there?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, for playing some background.
Okay. Now, basically, if you check look back again, right, okay, this is basically our studies there, right? Okay, for a week. Okay, for a week there, okay. If you want to basically break down into two different kind of position of your own particular kind of faces there, okay. Three-quarter view is quite basically are going to be quite tricky a little bit, okay, tricky a little bit because they have a dimension there, okay. Even though you can actually define yourself into square, particular kind of what we call that position, what we call that box kind of positions like this one there, okay. And they also have a circle kind of shapes over here that to apply from there. I don't want to go through a little bit kind of details there, guys, okay? Because it will take the whole semesters there if you want to study character design, basically, a whole semesters there, guys. Not for the digital illustration subjects only there, not for the purpose of the assignments only there, guys. But if you want to study character design, it will take 14 weeks time to design a characters there, basically. All right? But because I really feel responsible for me to give you guys some exposures here, so I will basically try to cut short a little bit, okay, on the understanding there. Okay, cut back again the shapes there. Can you see the detail of the shapes over here? Okay, break down into multiple shapes there, okay, to work with it. The nose, basically, when you want to design a three-quarter view, there we have to become based from the dimensional of this particular kind of shapes there, okay. They have to be the shapes on the line. This is basically the center point of those lines, but from those left side of those what we call that grid, there has to be and a curved kind of line like this to become a bit more like a cage of those kind of dimensional of those triangles, of those shapes there, okay, of the form itself, okay, when you design them, right, okay. This is basically the structures of the faces from those dispositions there. All right, dispositions there, right? See, the dimensionals of it, guys. So you have to remember when you design something that came from, okay, dispositions there, right? See, there has different kind of dimensions, kind of look and feel from you. Okay, can you see here? The eyes itself, also the same thing. Okay, the shapes of the eyes, the eyeballs are going to be right here, for example, there. The dimension of those eyes there, it came from this side there, see? That's why we break down into multiple kind of shapes there. Multiple kind of shapes there, guys. This is the thing that we need to study there, guys. Okay, that's why you need to have a proper reference there. Even though we can design any characters that you want, but in order to understand first, all right, understand first the whole structures here, you must be able to study back again. But not all people have this kind of pointed kind of ears like this one, there, guys. Okay, but you need to define also some of the ears for some peoples when you actually have different kind of way of reference that you want to actually work on that. Okay, what we can do also from here. All right, we want to study basically back again our structures that base, okay, three-quarter is quite difficult for some peoples there. I want to show you guys there. The dimensional of those structures that we see from these faces over here. All right. Before we're going to study them back. Okay, the whole structures there, basic structures there, guys, okay? Not the whole things there, okay? This is basically the skulls there, okay? The neck structures are going to be right here, guys. So right now, the position of the body there, okay, that we want to break down a bit. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to position basically the body type over here. All right, two different multiple shapes there, okay. And this is basically the chest there, okay, the shoulders, the trap, okay, and also this is basically the alignments of those joint, ball joint basically on those hands there, right, okay, hand itself. So break down all these shapes back again, guys, okay. Okay, now basically, all right, I don't find basically those pictures of me actually, right. When we break down basically those fingers, all right, this is how actually I break down there, okay, shapes there, okay. First, 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5 over here, okay. Luckily he's not doing anything basically on those positions over here, okay. Now basically the hands also from this part also you can break down a bit. You want to study some anatomies, the guys, there has to be another kind of way there, okay, another kind of recorded sessions that I cannot actually include right here, okay, in our the whole lessons of our digital illustration tab. I have to give you guys some sort of idea how to break it out there, okay, break down the shapes of it there, okay. These two different kind of what we call that shapes that break down into those legs. This is basically those ball joint, and if I want to draw basically the position of my foot and my legs are going to be right here there, guys. See, break down the shapes there, okay. We are not actually draw entirely based on reference there, guys, but we study back again that based on the logic to break down the shapes here. That's basically the thing that we need this reference there back again to work with it. See, break down the whole shapes there first there, okay, to work on it and draw correctly there. All right, it takes time there, guys, okay. For me basically I will refer a lot of reference there, okay, to find any kind of reference that I can find, okay. If I have some of the reference that I'm going to share with you guys later on, books there, okay, PDF books, okay, I will share in our basically Google Classroom there, guys. Maybe you can actually refer a bit more from those books there, right, okay. So last time basically I have this kind of books, okay, that I actually share also with the students there. Hopefully I can actually share with you guys later on there. So break down the shapes there, guys, okay, correctly. We will work on that. Same goes to these positions over here, okay. There's a lot of way to approach it, okay, but please make sure that you really understand how to break down first the shapes over here. There. Okay, the neck. This is basically the skulls. All right, this part basically, okay, a part of the skulls there that can break down a little bit. Even though this is not highly in the parallel called the positions there, I can break down the shapes of these persons back again, okay, to add some of those details there. See? All right, break down the shapes there, right, guys, okay, correctly there first. So from here, the line of actions that we apply that define basically those postures there, right? Break into the circle, the square, and what we call the cylinders kind of shapes. This one, all right. The hands, arms there, right? And then this basically the shapes of those fingers there. Okay, break down the shapes there first like this before you're going to redraw them back, right? And then the body itself, right? The body itself, I break down into multiple kind of shapes over here before we get to go into this pelvis, and then these are going to be those. Okay, these are going to be those knee there, okay, cap, and these are going to be the shapes of those legs there, right? From side profiles, okay. Study that back again, okay. I want to see this kind of process have been developed before you're going to design your characters there, okay, before you're going to design any kind of characters there. Okay, when you talk about if you really want to design back again, okay, to develop the sketches from here there, right, okay. Of course, okay, this part basically you're going to study them back, okay. It's quite crucial if you don't understand correctly, okay, from back view, okay. When you actually go through with any interviews, okay, later on, okay, when you people ask you guys to draw character design, right, you have to start with this kind of basic structures there first. Okay, you don't have to draw the whole kind of characters there, okay, using basically what idea that you have, okay. When people say, okay, can you design characters there, you can design this kind of basic structures there first before you're going to go through back again, all right, these positions over here to define basically back again what we call that your kind of ideas of applying, okay, the right kind of structures there first before you're going to design any kind of characters for any people, okay. When people saw basically you can actually define all these structures like this, people know basically you can design something from there. All right, you can design something from there, okay. You didn't have to go through with a lot of details there, right? See, when you have this kind of sample of reference, it works on that. Okay, so if you really want to design something from your imaginations after this, okay, after this, there, right? For example, there, right? Okay, you want to design from three-quarter view. Normally, I'm going to start with three-quarter view there, right? So what I'm going to do, guys, okay, I will break down into another shapes there, okay, based on the reference that we have there, right? So what I'm going to do, I will design basically some characters that based on these structures there. Yes. Okay, but I'm going to improvise basically the shapes lah of it. We improvise the shape there, okay. So try to learn to develop those structures there first, okay. How about the hairline, a bit more exaggerate. I try to exaggerate a bit, guys, okay. And then the body, don't focus only one positions there, guys. I want one what we call the areas there when we want to design the whole things there. So I will design basically those characters kind of body postures there, see. Even though I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. So right now this is the body there, right? Even though I'm going to exaggerate there, there's a few number kind of process also we can go through, okay? Like count basically the head there, right? So right now what I can do right in here, okay, just to speed up a little bit. Okay, still have times. So let's just say I will make the pelvis a little bit kind of short a little bit, okay? Short a little bit there, right here. See? This dimensional kind of looks there, right? Okay, from three-quarter view there. So right now, okay, the hands positions has to be the same size as the arm there, right? Okay, arm and hands has to be the same size there, guys. So now I'm going to define basically the legs. Okay, the legs a bit more longer there, right? But take a look there, guys. Even though I draw the legs a bit more longer, but still can balance them up there, guys. Okay, still can balance them up there. So I'm going to make the head legs a bit more bigger, all right? And then this is going to be the foot there. The foot there, right? Now the arms should be longer, but not too long because we don't want to make these characters look a bit more like apes there, right? Even though I can draw this person become an ape there, but I'm not going to focus on that yet. Okay, the hands kind of shapes there first. Okay, the shapes of the hands there. Now go back into, okay, those features of those faces there. So now I'm going to draw basically those nose there. The nose, I can be pointed nose, but you can actually design the nose to look like this a bit. Okay. Now basically the eyebrows, okay, a bit more thicker there, right? And what else there? And I'm going to design basically, okay, the beard itself. Okay, improvise the shapes there, guys, okay, and simplify them. Now the eyes there, right? The eyes and the lips there. Shapes of the lips there, right? This is simplify the shapes of those. basically the ears there, okay, from the side profile, from the 3/4 view there, okay, 3/4 views too. Now I have basically those structures, okay, of those gestures there, okay, and I'm going to define, but he's wearing a shoes over here, okay, because I'm normally, okay, my favorite shoes is sneakers there, okay. So even though I'm going to the meeting also, I'm will wearing sneakers there, right? Okay. So the shirts, very simple kind of shirts. Okay, he's wearing a tight kind of maybe jeans over here. I don't want to apply a lot of accessories because they're going to have a lot of responsibilities there, you know. All right, the shirt itself. No designs directly, because at least someone actually going to be sponsored basically with this design. I'm going to apply back again, okay, those kind of design there, okay. Otherwise, I don't have any kind of obligation. I don't have any kind of responsibility to work on that. Unless I want to design my own kind of logos, yes, we can, okay. So now we have basically those ideas of this design, guys. Okay, yeah. Roughly, I get those kind of ideas of this design. Okay, a lot of people have the hard time to draw this particular kind of design because they don't understand how to work with those different positions there, the shapes of it. Okay, has to be aligned there, guys. Okay, everything has to be aligned there first. Okay, aligned there first. Yes, going to be right here, basically, okay, roughly there, right? So the alignment of those basically hair, okay, how many spikes they have, everything has to be counted, guys, okay. And then level of nose right here, okay, the beard itself, okay, everything has to be counted, guys, okay. Don't just simply actually design something without counting the basically the element that you actually have been drawn there, right? Okay, the eyebrows, okay, supposed to be right here, and the eyes there. Alright, but 2D kind of design, normally we actually can improvise a little bit. When it comes to 3-dimensional character applications, we have to be aware of it. Okay, now from here, want to design the shapes of this body. Okay, okay, the body itself has to be curved a little bit, the line of action there, to make a little bit more confidence from this person. Okay, so the arms has to be, and hands has to be the same alignment there. See, the same alignment there, guys. So this part are going to be the whole hands there. See, the shapes of it. Okay, this part basically, okay, have to be have a circle a little bit to show basically the buttocks of this person there, okay, of this design. And then we can exaggerate a little bit there, guys. Okay, so these are going to be the knee, and these are going to be those legs, right, from this position. So this is basically the process that I want to see for this week, okay, when you want to submit the progressions there. So each progressions before you're going to update basically your final kind of works has to be submit each week there, guys, okay. I want to see some progression there. If I don't see any progression from the submissions, next week I'm going to ask you guys there, okay, as usual there, to present basically your progressions. That's all, okay. So roughly we have those ideas of this design from these particular positions. When you actually have been confirmed with all these ideas there, always start with the 3/4 view there, guys. Okay, why? When we start with the 3/4 views, easy for you to design later on for those another position basically from the front view. Okay, but all this kind of stuff looks like quite easy, but it's not that easy there, guys, to work with it normally. All right. So what I can do from here, all right, if I want to make it, okay, into, sorry there, into different kind of design, for example here, different kind of styles of design there, right? Okay, what I can do, I will try to open up new files, new layers there, and new files there. So what I can do from here, right, I have this designer right with me. So from here, I'm going to save the files there first. Then I'm going to design a front view directly. Normally I'm going to start with front view or 3/4 views directly, but if you take a look right now, if I want to start with the front positions, back again, what I can do next, right, check a look back again the alignments there. I'm going to use new layers there first. Try to apply the alignments there from these positions. Alright, the ears should be right here. We actually can draw one position at one time there, right? Okay? So from here, okay, the hair, roughly, right? Okay, draw those shapes, the alignments, and then they're going to be the nose right here. Okay, the lips, the eyebrows, the eyes there, right? Okay, roughly those ideas from there. And this is going to be the neck and the shoulders itself. Okay, you can design one positions like this there first. Okay, one positions like this there first. Okay. For example, like this, one positions. Okay. So what you can do next, okay, what you can do next here, guys, you actually can select this part, copy paste. Now you can basically write edit, transform, flip horizontals there. See? Okay, even though the face also you can do the same thing there, right? Okay, okay, to get a rough kind of design there, okay, before you go to finalize them. I don't want you guys just to what we call that, draw the final design without having this particular kind of process there. Just understand first your own design before going to basically refine them back there. Okay, I don't want you guys just to go through with it there, okay, without have the finalizations there first. Okay, from here, okay, of course we can scale directly. Scale. This week is all about how to define basically your ideas, how to develop those ideas that is roughly. I want to see all this rough kind of design there. Even though I can clean up the line for you guys right now, but I don't want you guys to do those kind of things there. So let's just say I'm using a very, what we call that, a very stylized kind of characters there, right? Okay? Kind of design there, right? Okay, using very stylization on those character styles there, more flexibles, and you guys can see basically the attitude, the personalities there, the flexibility of the whole design basically right now. So let's just say from here, I want to break into a little bit more chibi character styles there, right? Chibi character styles there, okay? So chibi character style based on one particular kind of head design there, right? Let's just say this is the head design, the shapes of it, okay? The shape of this head design, right? The shape is one circle there, like this. Alright. I break down into two shapes. Even though it's not accurate kind of shapes, it's okay there, guys. Okay. But the shapes look confident enough, you guys can actually continue to work on that. Okay, from here, I want to sketch basically the ideas there, okay? Using only two shapes. Oops, using different colors. Okay, two shapes there, guys. Two shapes to design a chibi characters. It doesn't mean that I have to design myself using this kind of shape lah. Come on there, right? Break down into two shapes there, okay? Based on square there, right? Square, see? Square design there, okay? Square design over here. So the hairs is not included from the head there, okay? They are going to be extend a little bit there, right? So from here, how actually I design the body? It doesn't. Sometimes when people actually use the shapes, they actually too naive to follow exactly the shape, so they become fat there, okay, the character there. These basically the shapes are going to be the guideline for you to break down into two different shapes to design back again your structures for your characters there. That's all. The guideline again. It doesn't mean that you have to draw Doraemon based on yourself there, right? Okay? Unless you will basically have a big size of person there, okay? That's all there, right? So now how actually break down into these two shapes into one chibi styles characters there, right? How actually going to work at that? Of course, the neck should be a little bit more shorter there, okay? Then I break down into another shapes of here. These were okay, half of the shapes of the circles. So break down, this is going to be the body. See? Body there, right? And this is going to be the pelvis there, okay? I might going to be cut down a little bit there, right? Because the legs a bit more bigger there, right? More longer there, okay, than the body here. So these are going to be the foot, and these are going to be the legs there, right? See, half of it are going to be the leg there, right? Okay, break down into two different kind of shapes there. This is basically the half of the shapes of the circles. We break down into another shape there to align between the legs, the arm, the legs, and the thigh there, okay? And also the foot itself. The foot, I'm going to use one simple shapes like this there, okay, to work on that. Okay, from side profiles, of course lah, we have to change lah into these particular shapes there, right? To make it right from the whole positions here. Now, the arms there, how actually going to work with the arms there, right? Of course, the shoulder is a bit more smaller there, right? So the arms are going to be in these two different kind of size. Is the two same size again, the similar size, but the hands are going to be a bit more to these areas there, but not too long again. If you're going to design too long again, they're going to become an apes there again. So right now I have the basic structures of my hands and arms there, right? So I'm using two different kind of size there. Okay, two cylinders there. One cylinder is like this, and another a little bit more bigger there, okay? To make it a bit more formations of this design, a bit more super deformed there, okay, that we call there, right? So the shapes of the hands, also I'm going to improvise a little bit the hands of these characters there. I can design the hands a bit more details if I want to, alright? But depending basically on those styles there that you want to produce there, okay? Or you're going to design the hands also look a bit more like this there, right? More cute there, right? Okay? Depending there, right? Huh? So you have to test first your own design, okay? By using all this kind of process of structures there. So from here, I want to design basically the nose. I want to cut basically the nose, make it more simplified like this. The eyebrows over here, okay, alignment back again. The eyes there, right? I can design one single kind of eyes like this using ovals, or I can actually using this kind of methods that you work there, guys. The shapes of the eyes there. A bit big brown round eyes there, right? Okay, to work on that. And what else there? The beard. I'm going to use this particular style, okay? Break down the shape back again on those beard there. See? Or you want to make these guys a bit more serious then? Yeah. And detail out basically those eyes there, right? Remember guys, when we design the characters, especially the chibi characters, people will look into the eyes first rather than the whole structures there, all those design there, right? So roughly I have the chibi styles of myself from here, and I can break down into another chibi styles if I want to do that, guys. Okay, see? So let's just say I will draw a bit more faster right now because I already understand how it works. I can design myself into multiple kind of versions there. See? Multiple kind of versions there, guys. Using basically different kind of methods there, guys. See? Multiple kind of methods there. Now the body itself, and then the legs. Okay, we're talking about sketch there first. This is a rough sketch there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, simple kind of positions there, okay? You're talking about how we develop those ideas there, guys. So when you talk about clients, okay, when you meet your clients there, normally people want to see all these kind of ideas that you've been portrayed from these styles there, okay? First, okay, let's just say I will design more further on my kind of characters there. All these kind of skills that based on caricatures kind of understanding there, guys. Then we design also break down the shapes together back again to work with these kind of ideas here. Okay, the core kind of understanding that we go through with these kind of ideas that came from caricatures kind of knowledge. Okay, when I design them. So right now I design different kind of ideas there. Okay? Different kind of ideas there based on the same person. I know some people will say, okay, because I have a strong features, that's why it's easy for me to design. No, there, guys, okay? You have to find and define also your own features there. Okay, that's why we study basically back again ourselves. Okay, so I will design. Okay, in multiple kind of styles of myself there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 there. Okay, 4 design there. Okay, how many times they actually made all these kind of ideas there first. This is the thing that we want to go through there, guys. We're not talking about how to refine and redesign. Okay, I'm not talking about how to, what we call that, finalize the whole thing in the first week there, right? I'm talking about how to do those design process back there. Break down the shape there. If you understand the shapes correctly there, guys, easy for you to design characters there. Okay, easy for you to design the character there. From here, what else there? Let's just say I want to design it more simplified there, okay, the shapes there, right? More graphical kind of look there. Okay, more graphical kind of look there, guys. See, but the thing is, you must be able to understand, all right, about yourself. See, different kind of design there. Different kind of design that actually been introduced to you guys over here. And of course, we have to know basically when we design the shape, when we apply the shapes there, right? You must be able to see the balance between, even though I draw the head bigger than the body there, okay, but still look balanced there. Okay, when you break down a bit there, okay, we still look balanced there, guys. All this kind of stuff will not came from overnight there, guys, okay? It came from those 20-25 experience there. And of course, you guys only have 14 weeks and a few number kind of weeks and days maybe to works as what actually have been shown you guys there. That's why you take a lot of time that works on that. I didn't expect for you guys to go better from here, but I expect you guys to do the same process of developing your understanding slowly, but focus on yourself there, how it works, especially on your skills there. Right? For me, the right guys, I can keep on doing basically to design basically myself, right? Using whatever materials that I have here to work on that. Okay, talk about the ideas there. That's what I say there, guys. Okay, you don't have to design all this kind of fancy stuff first. Focus on yourself, and then you go through with it correctly. Okay. If you can actually visualize yourself correctly, even though you want to design like you say lah, all right. Okay, even though you want to design a manga version of you there, okay, for example here. How to design there, okay, the manga version of you there, right? Okay. Okay, see the shapes here, right? So normally in manga that have basically anime styles are going to be a bit kind of big round eyes over here. Now the hair also has to be a little bit more simplified there, right? Now what else there, okay? You want to design this guy wearing basically some sort of like shields, gloves or whatever there, right? Go through with it, okay? Any kind of games that you actually playing, you want to apply back again to this particular kind of styles, go ahead there guys, okay? Okay, yeah, right? For example there, roughly. So you guys can actually go through, okay, see back again, okay? You can actually develop the whole thing in multiple kind of styles and idea in a short time there if you really apply correctly, okay, to design any kind of style and characters that you want, okay? From now on that you work on that, okay? More graphicals, more structures, okay? More kind of whatever styles that you want there, okay? You can design and define them back. The thing that I don't saw a lot of people have done, okay, they don't actually define correctly. They don't actually exploring their, okay, those ideas there. They always keep applying something that people have seen there before, but it doesn't match basically the level of skill they actually apply from here. All right, that's the thing that we saw there, okay? So this week, I want you guys to develop first and focus more on your developments there, your sketches there, okay? If you have 5 different sketches there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sketches, 5 different designs, okay? You can choose whatever styles that you want. This is basically the starting point how to study yourself there. This may be a part of your kind of ideals there, okay, that you're going to apply back again to your final works. So 2 different kind of studies, you will engage together to make some continuity on your kind of developments. It doesn't mean that you have to design the characters look like this only there guys, okay? But this is the process of understanding that first. Our brain need to develop correctly to develop those kind of ideas and skills. Alright, those are the things there. So we have to go through correctly first before we go to what we call that develop back again the ideas, okay? For our assignments there, right? Alright? Okay? So any questions there so far? This week, process of developing those ideas there. I'm going to go through back again for our practical sessions. I want to see some progressions some of you guys have done from this particular kind of demonstrations there first. Okay, for this week. So be prepared yourself I will ask you guys, okay, I will basically call the names. I want to see those progressions by this week there, okay? Either in our practical sessions or maybe on Sunday there, okay? That you guys can actually submit back again to work. All right? Any questions? Any kind of inquiries? Please let me know basically, okay? And you actually can see WhatsApp me basically, right? Okay? As usual to basically to ask any questions later on, alright? Okay? So take care very much. Have a good day there, guys. Alright, group 5, we're going to start around 15 minutes. Okay, take a break first. Alright, take a break. You have a quick lunch. Okay, and I'm going to get back to you guys later on. Alright, okay? So take care very much. Have a good day. Stay safe. And good luck. Alright, bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome there, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome there, guys.
Yes, sir.
Welcome there.